Alright, we are live on YouTube, starting us up on Rumble. Good morning, hello, and welcome to This Date in History, aka TDH. This show is about what happened today throughout the recorded annals of history. I am Alexander.
Golden Loon.
And you are, of course, are you. Thank you so much for joining. Today is Sun's Day, aka Sunday, April 27th, 2025. So let's jump into the history today, shall we? Starting us off in the year 1509, Pope Julius II excommunicated the Republic of Venice and endorses his allies to attack. So
the whole area?
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Well, Venice back in the day was an economic powerhouse, and possibly because of that was a threat to the papacy, so they had to do something about it. You know? Remember what they did to the Crusaders?
True.
You know, or actually the Knights Templar. So, yeah. Actually, let me move my mic over here so I can pick you up better. Moving on up into 1518, the Treaty of St. Trudin, anti-French trapdoors, and Burgundisch Covenant. What the hell? Anti-French trapdoors. What is that?
Trapdoors.
What the like?
See ya.
I mean, like, you know, just specifically, like, the French are not allowed to make trapdoors. What is this? Can anybody let us know in the comment section?
Please.
What does this
That's
mean?
weird.
I know. 1539, we have the refounding of the city of Bogota, New Granada, which is now Colombia, by Nicolas Federman and Sebastian de Balcazar. Yeah. Bogota. So, yeah, happy double birthday.
Yeah.
1565, first Spanish settlement in the Philippines was founded in Cebu City. Okay. 1667, blind and impoverished, English poet John Milton sold the copyright of Paradise Lost for £10. That is a major thing right there. Paradise Lost?
Never heard of it.
Like, I've heard of it. I don't know exactly what it is, but, like, it's a big name, like, in the history of literature. So, but, I mean, you need a sandwich, you need a sandwich.
10 pounds, that's a lot of weight.
That's a heavy book right there.
Yeah.
1773, British Parliament passed the Tea Act. Boston won't like this. I love that little tongue-in-cheek, where is that? Was 1773? Hold on, let me catch up here. Right here on our main source. Boston won't like this. Well, yeah, because of the Tea Party.
Yeah.
You know? So, 1805, from the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli. That's a shout-out to my homie Howie out there, if he's watching. 1805, the U.S. Marines attacked the shores of Tripoli. Now, somebody asked a question last night, why? Like, why did we attack Tripoli? And that's a good question.
I have no idea.
So, like, let me just do a surface-level scratch of this article if we can't really figure out much. You know, and, of course, people talk in the comment section here. The Battle of Derna at Derna Cyrenaica was a decisive victory in April through May of 1805 of a mercenary army recruited and led by the United States Marines under the command of U.S. Army Lieutenant William Eaton, diplomatic consul to Tripoli, and U.S. Marine Corps First Lieutenant. But why did we attack? Like, background, okay? Well, I'm not going to read this entire thing, but, like, if anybody can let us know, and, like, Howie, if you have a YouTube account to comment, like, that'd be wonderful to let us know right from a retired Marine. You know, well, once a Marine, always a Marine.
Yeah.
You know? So, nothing but respect for that man.
There's no such thing, as far as the Marines, because there's no such thing as an ex or retired Marine.
Yeah.
You are a Marine.
Yes. Yeah, like, even if you're crippled or whatever, you're still a Marine.
No, you're a Marine.
Yeah.
For life.
Yes. So... Moving on up here, 1810, Ludwig van Beethoven composed his famous piano piece, Für Elise. That's the one that goes...
okay.
I think, if I have that correct.
Well, I know Ludwig Beethoven.
Of course, Beethoven.
I don't know the work itself right there, but...
Yeah. What else do we have? Let me minimize this a little bit. 1813, U.S. troops under General Zebulon Pike captured York, now Toronto, from British regulars, militia, and Ojibwe natives, forcing a British withdrawal to Kingston. Pike was killed. Yikes. So, and yeah, that was, of course, during the War of 1812.
Yeah.
So, 1838, a fire destroyed half of Charleston. That's not good.
Ooh.
And I want to bring back up the whole mud flood theory, you know, tying in with the reset that's happened, the Rothschilds, you know, all that stuff.
What are you talking about?
Like, well, it's conspiracy territory, but like I'm just planting that seed for people to go and look things up themselves. But like, if you look up any major city and then add in Great Fire of across the entire planet within like a 50-year period, practically every major settlement in the world burnt down, almost as if to erase the past and then build back up and forget, a reset. And then the whole mud flood thing, there's so many buildings that are like half or even more buried. There's like doorways that are like below ground level. It's like, why is there a doorway? Well, because a mud flooded the area and they reset. It's a whole thing. Look into it. But
so the Dems have a slogan, or they had one.
It's not the Dems.
Very recently, I'm just saying.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
adding to it. Build back better.
Oh, God. Not only did they not do that, they didn't build shit. So
tear it down.
Anyway, moving on up to 1840, foundation stone for new Palace of Westminster in London, laid by Sarah Barry, wife of its architect Charles Barry. It's pretty cool. So that's the Palace of Westminster. That's pretty impressive right there.
That's an impressive building.
Yeah. 1861, U.S. President Abraham Lincoln suspended the writ of habeas corpus. Whoa. That's a major thing right there.
Yeah. And I've heard about this, and I can't remember why. For the life of me. So I'll have to look it up later or something.
Okay. Well, what were we going to say?
No, I wish I could remember why he suspended it.
Well, you know what? I can look this up actually really quick. Why did Lincoln suspend habeas corpus? I had a feeling it was because to unjustly punish Confederate
with
people.
the war.
The Habeas Corpus Suspension Act, entitled An Act Relating to Habeas Corpus and Relating Judicial Proceedings in Certain Cases, was an act of Congress that authorized the President of the United States to suspend the right of habeas corpus in response to the American Civil War and provided the release of political prisoners. It began, yada, yada, yada. So you guys can look it up.
It's about the Civil War.
Yeah, well, it was definitely involving the Civil War.
Yeah.
So anyway, let me get my things back here so my screen isn't as ugly. Where'd my script go? There it is. 1861, West Virginia seceded from Virginia after Virginia seceded from the Union during the Civil War.
That's
A lot of secession. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, but I believe Happy Birthday West Virginia? Question mark? Because
It sounds like that was where it was first done. I don't know if it officially documents when they became a state. I don't know.
But see, take me home, country roads, to the place I belong, West Virginia!
Mountain Mama!
Take me home, country roads. Anyway, 1865, the steamboat SS Sultana exploded in the Mississippi River, killing up to 1,800 of the 2,427 passengers in the greatest maritime disaster in United States history. Most were paroled Union prisoners of war on their way home. Wow.
Oh.
Yikes. So, man. And I wonder if any of them was from Andersonville. That's a question right there.
I have no idea.
Andersonville was one of the worst prisoner of war camps in the history of the world. Like, there's a whole movie about it. It was awful. Absolutely awful.
67, right?
1865.
Oh, 60, okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say 67 was too late.
Yeah, well...
Okay. It would have been a long time still being in prison when it's over.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Yeah, that's awful. 1875, the New York Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Children, the NYSPCC, the world's first such agency, was incorporated. All right. We got to protect the kids.
Yeah.
1877, Rutherford B. Hayes removed federal troops from Louisiana and Reconstruction ended. And that's at the end of this, Reconstruction after the Civil War and all that stuff. Rutherford B. Hayes, he was a president, right? Yeah, the 19th president.
Yeah, they had a lot of problems down there with carpetbaggers and whatnot going down there and trying to profit off of everything.
1881, pogroms against Russian Jews started in Elizabethgrad. And what a pogrom is it is a... well, you know what? Let me look up the actual definition here, because I know what it is, but I can't really define it that well. Pogrom. A pogrom is a violent riot incited with the aim of massacring or expelling an ethnic or religious group, particularly Jews. So, now we're going to be talking about another pogrom later on, and it kind of has something to do with today's world, even though it's history way back before today. 1893, Richard King Dick Seddon succeeded John Ballance as Premier of the New Zealand and leader of Liberal Party. Wow.
So you had to say it like that. King Dick!
King Dick! Well, we're going to be talking about a tricky dick later on today.
Yeah?
Yeah. 1897, Grant's tomb, famed of song and legend, was dedicated. Ulysses S. Grant, I believe.
It gotta be, yeah.
Yeah. 1899, we have the foundation of the Phonogrammarschiv of the Austrian Academy of Science, the world's first research sound archive, added to UNESCO's Memory of the World in 1999. Yeah. 1903, the first Highlander Yankee shutout, Philadelphia A's won 6-0.
Ah.
All right. The Highlander became the Yankee. That's why it's in parentheses there. Like, you know, they're still around, but they're a different name.
Well, the Philadelphia A's, I remember when they were the Philadelphia A's, they moved to Oakland.
Ah.
Now I think they're in Vegas.
Ah, okay. You know, every team is turning into a doorknob, I swear. 1904, the Australian Labour Party under Prime Minister Chris Watson became the first Labour government in the world. Crikey! I mean, I'm sorry. Like, I see the word Australian, I just switch to Australian mode. Like, you know, my brain just goes down under. I can't help it. You know. So.
Your brain's pretty well always under.
Yeah. Under, over under where? Under there. 1905, World Exposition opened in Liège, and there's a whole thing about, like, you know, more mud
You know
flood.
where Liège is? I have no idea.
Germany.
You have to look it up.
You know, well, I want to now.
Liège sounds.
It's
could be
European.
German. Yeah. Well, yeah.
Belgium. Okay.
Okay.
I was kind of close.
Well, you're in Europe.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
All right. 1908, the fourth Summer Modern Olympic Games opened in London, and actually we have the LA is going to host Olympics here in about 3 years.
Yes.
So
yeah.
And isn't there something else we're hosting as well before the Olympics? Like there's some other thing that we're doing.
Could be. I don't have any recall of it right now.
But yeah, and then there's like going back into conspiracies, all the fires that happened out here. Maybe they're paving the way to build, you know, their smart city and build all the stuff for the Olympics over there. You know, out in what was it called? Like what was that area? The
Palisades?
Palisades. Yeah, thank you.
You know, Palisades has gotten 2 permits to rebuild all this time. 2. The other one, I can't remember exactly.
Lahaina? In Hawaii?
No. Still here. We have 2 different areas that just burned to the ground.
Yeah.
They've had none.
Oh.
No permits issued.
Of course.
Crazy.
Yep. Anyway, 1910, Belgian Parliament rejected socialist motion for general voting rights. Good. We don't need socialism. 1910 as well, Louis Botha and J.B.M. Herzog established the moderately nationalist South African Party, promising equality of Britons and Boers. And I think this is the start of apartheid. Yeah, because the Bothas were involved heavily. You know, here we go, Louis Botha.
Yeah.
And remember P.W. Botha?
No.
Well, he was later on. He was, I believe, the one who put Mandela in prison.
Oh.
Yeah. Or you know, he was the leader of South Africa at the time, at least.
Okay.
You know, and then there's of course F.W. de Klerk, which got him out. Or maybe I have those two backwards. I keep forgetting because they're both, you know, initial names.
Yeah.
Anyway, 1911, following the resignation and death of William P. Fry, a compromise was reached, to rotate the office of President pro tempore for the time being, of the United States Senate.
Sounds like he was deep fried.
1911, Indian passive resistance in South Africa was suspended when General Jan Smuts, what a name, Smuts?
Smuts.
Entered into negotiations with Mahatma Gandhi. And that reminds me of another name, a general named Smedley Butler. And that is an actual thing. You can look it up. 1914, Honduras became a signatory of the Buenos Aires Copyright Treaty. All right. 1918, Giants 9-0 winning start and Dodgers 0-9 losing streak are stopped. So I have a feeling that they both faced off and they canceled each other out. It kind of sounds like it.
No.
I mean, they weren't doing.
One was in the American League, one was in the National League. They never played each other unless it was the World Series.
Oh, okay.
So it just happened to be one was 0-9 and one was 9-0, and they snapped them.
And see, this is why I want you on the show, because you know these things. You know, you help, you contribute. You know? Like, let's all give props to the loon here. He may be Canadian, but he has a purpose.
Had to kick me. Couldn't just go clean, could you?
Yeah, well, like, at least I'm kicking northward, you know? 1927, Carabineros de Chile, the Chilean National Police Force and Gendarmerie, was created. Okay. 1931, 100 degrees Fahrenheit or 38 degrees Celsius in Pahala, Hawaii, state record. I wonder if that's still the state record in Hawaii. That's pretty warm. Although
Warm, but
Hawaii
that's a lot
is
of
tropical,
years.
you know. Like,
Almost 90 years ago, no.
Yeah.
I doubt it's held.
1933, Adolf Hitler authorized the creation of Ministry of Aviation in part to revive the German Luftwaffe under Reichsmarschall Hermann Göring. Ugh, not good.
No.
And we're going to be talking about like worse not good than that here pretty soon. 1933, Karl Jansky reported reception of cosmic radio signal in Washington, D.C. Ooh, that's pretty interesting right there. I wonder if it's alien contact or if we're just picking up something from the sun or something, you know? Like,
I have no idea.
1935, Brussels World Exposition opens. Once again, I want to, keep everybody in mind about the whole mud flood thing, the reset thing, and all that stuff. Why do we not have... Oh, yeah, that's what it is. We're holding a World Exposition, the first one in like 50 years out here.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah,
I haven't heard about that.
in L.A. So that's what I was talking about, the other thing. It's going to be a World's Fair type thing.
I never heard of it.
Yeah.
I haven't heard that they were doing that, is what I'm saying.
I have from one source.
I wonder if it's before or after the Olympics.
I don't remember. I just heard it somewhere.
Coming up.
So
because if it's before, they're way behind. They should be doing a whole bunch of stuff.
yeah, well, that's probably why they're dragging their feet about giving permits to rebuild. They want to do what they want to do, 1933, Karl Jansky report. We got that one. 1935, Yanks pull a first-inning triple play and beat Philadelphia's A's 9-8. Pretty impressive right there.
Yeah.
1937, here we go. First U.S. Social Security payment made. Boo, 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 boo. Socialism.
Social Security.
Yeah, well, that just is another way for the government to take our money and not give it back. That's what it is. So,
well, Social Security is supposed to be...
Supposed to.
Yeah. I mean, it works for me because I'm an old man, but I don't know what it's going to do for you or anybody else coming up.
I ain't going to do shit for my
30 years
generation.
old.
Now, here we go. 1940, Himmler ordered the establishment of Auschwitz concentration camp.
Let's just have a moment of silence.
Well, we will be talking about Auschwitz again, but in a strange way, a good way. So, 1942, Belgian Jews are forced to wear stars. That's an awful thing as well.
Yep.
1943, the Soviet Union broke contact with Polish government exiled in London. That's a weird move right there.
Yeah.
Didn't they invade Poland? They did.
Yes.
Yeah, they invaded conjointly. Not exact same time. I think they came a couple weeks after Germany, but they invaded their half and everything. So, okay.
It was a planned effort, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had a secret agreement, the Germans, and they wanted to partition Poland. And then later on, Barbarossa happened because they both wanted the Baltic states, and Hitler got greedy. So, but he was also on a copious amount of drugs. Anyway, 1943, and this is what I was talking about earlier, Witold Pilecki escaped from Auschwitz after having voluntarily been imprisoned there to gain information about the Holocaust.
Whoa! What?
Wow!
What?
Wow!
Oh my God! And then how the hell did he get out?
The balls on this guy are bigger than the Death Star, bro.
How did he get out?
With luck, like through the grace of God and all that is holy.
Had to have someone on the outside helping him in some way.
Oh, of course. I mean, like well, he voluntarily got to there to begin
He had
with.
to have a plan to get out.
So,
He had to have some kind of plan.
Yeah. And here we go, 1945, some good partisans, shout out to my Foxhole players out there. 1945, Italian partisans captured Benito Mussolini in Dongo near Lake Como. All right. The inventor of fascism. 1945 as well, during the Second World War, the Volkscher Beobacher, the newspaper of the Nazi Party, ceased publication. Good.
Yeah, no kidding.
Less propaganda. 1946, the first radar installed aboard a commercial ship.
Ooh.
It's pretty cool right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. 1947, Babe Ruth Day was celebrated at Yankee Stadium and throughout the U.S. So happy Babe Ruth Day out there, everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the anniversary of Auschwitz opening.
Bambino.
What a great thing. Ridiculous. Let's see here. What else do we got? I lost my spot. Here we go. 1953, first general elections in British Guiana, won by the People's Progressive Party, with Shetty Jagan, the first person of Indian descent to be elected head of government outside South Asia. And you're going to love this one, 1953 as well. Wrestler Freddie Blassie coined the term pencil neck geek.
Oh, yes, of course. Yeah. Freddie Blassie. Are you kidding me? You pencil neck geek.
The pencil neck geek.
Oh, man.
Oh, I could smoke your little arms, your skinny arms. So, 1959, Today's Show went abroad for the first time in Paris, France. All right. 1959, some more really good news here. Mao Zedong resigned as chairman of the PRC after the disastrous failure of the Great Leap Forward. Good. Piece of crap.
Was that where he self-inflicted a revolt and it almost took him down?
Probably. I don't know any of this.
Yeah. Oh no.
So,
yeah.
Well,
I don't remember the actual resigning and all of that, but yeah.
But at that same time, 1959, the last Canadian missionary left the People's Republic of China. At least back then, Canada was smart about China and got the hell out of there. Today, they're inviting them over and teaching them all their military secrets.
Well,
Stupid.
59 is still, 12 years or so after he took over the country? That's
Yeah.
kind of a slow escape.
Yeah. Well, shouldn't have been there to begin with. So, 1960, the first atomic-powered electric drive submarine was launched.
Ooh, that's huge.
Tulabi, I guess, is the name of the sub.
I guess.
Maybe. 1960, South Korean President Syngman Rhee resigned after 12 years in power. By the way, apparently the Trump administration is trying to repeal the 2-term limit of the presidency. I was told this. I haven't looked into this myself.
They're not.
But
They're
not
not.
Trump himself, but somebody in his cabinet proposed it, and they're trying to pass it to get him to have more terms.
Yeah.
No.
That's kind of the fake news type of thing. What they're doing, and I won't go into great detail, the Constitution actually says 2 consecutive terms.
Oh.
So they're saying, well,
He hasn't had 2 consecutive
if
terms.
I haven't had consecutive terms, no more than 2 consecutive terms, then I can run again for my consecutive terms. And if that were the case, it may be Trump against Obama.
Oh, Christ.
No, it's all.
Wait, no, Obama served 2 consecutive terms.
Oh, yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Well, no, but if that passes, then somebody can really play the system and intentionally just hopscotch 1 term, skip 1 term, skip.
Well, that's it. You could team up with someone.
Oh, and just
and go
pass
through 12 years.
hot potato,
I will do it one, and then you come up the next year and do it. Then I'll come back. I think you get like 12 or 16 years.
So basically,
and then I'll run 2, and then you run 2.
Basically, a more nefarious version of what Obama and Biden did.
Okay, let's do it this way.
I know what you're
If you
saying.
Teamed up. Okay, so there be 4.
Yeah.
And then your vice president is 4. You come back for 8. So there's 4, 8, 16. That's 24 years.
Oh my God. Well, we're going to be talking about it 24. Actually, no. Right here. We literally just read this. 12 years in power.
Okay,
So this guy.
Yeah.
But also, apparently, now, once again, this is what I've been told. I haven't looked into it. Trump fell asleep at the funeral of the Pope on Saturday.
I haven't heard anything about that.
Yeah, so going to have to look into that and maybe report on that this upcoming Saturday during Weird Weekly Recap. Anyway, moving on up to 1960, Togo, formerly French Togo, declared independence from the French administration. All right. 1 year later, NASA launched Explorer 11 into Earth orbit to study gamma rays. Pretty cool right there. 61 as well, NFL officially recognized the Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio. All right.
Whoa, I didn't know it was that late. 61. Wow.
Yeah. Well, yeah. 1961 as well, Sierra Leone declared independence from the United Kingdom. Yeah, now it's a shithole. 1965, Robert C. Duncan and Norma L. Baker were granted a patent for the Pampers disposable diaper on behalf of Procter & Gamble.
Boy, now you talk about filling up a landfill.
Oh, man, yeah. 1967, Expo 67 opened in Montreal, Canada, featuring a giant biosphere designed by Buckminster Fuller. Okay. 365 days later, 1968, the Northern Ireland Civil Rights Association, NICRA, held a rally to protest the banning of a Republican Easter parade. See right here, this is what's causing the troubles. Why are you pressuring them so hard? Why are you oppressing them? Why are you banning their parades?
Yeah.
That's not right.
No,
You know, I mean, like, you know, the IRA, you know, is not in the right with all the car bombings and such, but what caused them to get to that point? Because of all the oppression. Simple. 1972, Apollo 16 returned to Earth after lunar exploration, splashing down in the Pacific Ocean 350 kilometers, or 189 nautical miles, southeast of the island of Kiritimandidi. Now, what's the difference between a mile and a nautical mile? Like,
there is.
A mile's a mile. What the hell?
No, a nautical mile is the distance. It has something to do with the ropes and knots. That's why it's a nautical.
Well, I thought knots was just speed, well, I don't know.
I don't know either when you come right down to it.
Because the term knots comes out from like how fast you're going, because they had, as you said, knots in the rope.
Yeah.
And they judged it based off of how fast they're going versus knots in the rope
So
or
that
something.
could
So
also have something to do with distance. Then I don't know.
1976, Arabic Monetary Fund established in Abu Dhabi.
Oh.
Now, I forgot the joke that Alice made, but something about the Flintstones. I don't care. Anyway, 1981, first female soccer official was hired by the NASL, the National American Soccer League, I presume, what that means.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. 81 as well, Xerox PARC introduced the computer mouse. Hey, thank you. I have one of them.
Huge.
Yeah, actually, dude, why did I miss that? Like that's massive. That should have been in the thumbnails. Like, hold on a second. Let me show you what the first computer mouse looked like. Actually, it was this one here. Look at that.
Look at that thing.
It had 3 buttons.
Yeah, this is exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah.
What's with 3 buttons?
Well, mine has 5, 6.
Well, you have a scroll, but that isn't a scroll button.
No.
That would be way too advanced.
No. But here we go. So there's this mouse, and then of course the Apple mice only had 1 button forever. So, and then this one has 2. So, but man, dude, how did I skip over that for the thumbnails? Bad me.
That's huge.
First computer mouse should have been in the title too.
Yeah.
Anyway, 1983, Nolan Ryan became strikeout king, 3,509, passing Walter Johnson. All right.
Sandy Koufax probably still holds the records or tied the record for most strikeouts in a game. 18. That's 2 strikeouts. There's 3 outs an inning. He struck out 2.
Wow. Impressive. 1984, over 70 inches of snow fell on Red Lake, Montana. That is
70 inches.
That is deep. You know, hold on a second. Let me do the math here. 70 divided by 12 equals 5.8 feet, almost as tall as me. It would be
72
like
72 inches would be 6 feet.
Yeah, it would be up to like my eyes in
How
snow.
tall are you?
5'10", 5'11".
Right up to here.
Oh,
Because
well, that's
you're 2
true.
inches away from 6 feet.
True.
If you're 2 inches under, 6, you're buried.
Yeah, right up to here, but
snow.
you're up to here with my bullshit.
We're talking snow.
Yeah. Well, you're Canadian. You would know about snow.
Yeah.
Oh. 1986, Captain Midnight, John R. McDougall, hacked into and interrupted HBO. Don't remember much about that.
No.
And it kind of makes me sad I didn't do a history show yesterday. 1986, Soviet authorities ordered the evacuation of the city of Pripyat, a population of 50,000, one day after the Chernobyl nuclear accident. So Chernobyl was yesterday.
Oh, yesterday. Oh,
Wow,
man.
That's a miss.
Well, you didn't do it, so you don't know.
Well, I mean, I could have looked ahead, but yeah, whatever. I was busy scribbling for the war efforts. Death to the colonies! 1987, the U.S. Justice Department barred Austrian Chancellor Kurt Waldheim from entering the U.S. due to his aid of Nazi Germany during World War II. Yeah.
So he's banned from what?
He was banned from entering the United States.
Oh, okay.
But we took their scientists, no problem.
Oh, yeah.
Operation Paperclip, don't forget about
Who's
that.
the rocket guy?
Von Braun?
Yeah.
Werner von Braun?
Welcome him with open arms.
Yeah. And he legit killed Jews. Like, he oversaw killing and celebrated it.
Really?
Yeah. Like, he was an evil, evil man. 1989, Beijing students took over Tiananmen Square in China. Yeah.
Oh, I remember that.
Yep. Now, is the whole Tank Man thing, is that coming up?
Tank Man?
Like the guy standing in front of
Oh,
the tank?
yeah. Well, that's what this is.
1989, mandatory seatbelt law went into effect in Italy. Good. A little late, but better late than never.
Yeah.
1990, 50th annual barbershop quartet singing convention held in Michigan. What? There's a convention for this shit?
Yeah.
What?
Who would have thunk?
Okay. 1992, Betty Boothroyd became the first woman to be elected Speaker of the British House of Commons in its 700-year history.
Good.
All right. 1992 as well, the Federal Republic of Yugoslavia, comprising Serbia and Montenegro, was proclaimed. Happy birthday, Yugoslavia.
Yeah.
Yeah. 94, former U.S. President Richard Nixon, I am not a crook, was buried in the Nixon Library in Yorba Linda, California.
Buried him deep.
Yes. Not deep enough. And actually, like, right here, you can see, if I can bigger it. This is actually a photo I took. I cropped it here, but this is a photo I took when we went there for my Communist Button video.
Yeah, oh, okay, yeah. If you ever want to see that Communist Button, it's cool. It doesn't give a day on there, does it?
A day?
That they buried him. It just says when he lived and died. No, it doesn't give a day he died.
No, it just says 13 to 94. Yeah. So, anyway, what else do we got here? 1999, Nevada State Museum discovered the oldest mummy in North America on the shelves of their own museum after the Spirit Cave mummy radiocarbon dated to over 9,400 years old. Wow. That's impressive. 2002, the last successful telemetry from the NASA space probe Pioneer 10. Okay. 2005, the super jumbo jet aircraft Airbus A380 made its first flight from Toulouse, France.
Airbus, yeah.
Yep. 2006, construction began on the Freedom Tower for the New World Trade Center in New York City. How stereotypically, American. Like, oh, the Freedom Tower, oh. Can we not get, like, a less stupid name? I mean, like...
Nothing wrong with that.
Well, I mean, it's so cliche. Like, the Freedom Tower, ooh. Dumb.
Hey, nothing wrong with promoting your own country.
Wow.
Wow.
We have more prisoners per capita than the rest of the entire world's history combined. So, like, yeah, we ain't a free country, that's for sure.
Freedom has a cost, doesn't it?
Yeah, well. Anyway, 2011, the deadliest day of the 2011 outbreak of tornadoes, the largest tornado outbreak in the United States history. Okay, but how many deaths? How much damage?
Yeah.
Like, give us information. Why is it the most?
True.
2011, mummified remains of U.S. actress Yvette Vickers discovered by a neighbor at her home. She had not been seen since 2010. What happened? Like, was she abducted? Was she murdered?
Was she buried?
Like,
how did they find? Yeah.
Well, I mean, you could be mummified in dry conditions, like,
I know, but I mean, how did they not find?
Well, that's what I'm asking. Like, did she die at home of old age, or like was she kidnapped?
Down
What
in the
happened?
basement? What?
Yeah. 2011, U.S. President Barack Hussein Obama, coerced by incessant false birther accusations, BS, publicly released a copy of his birth certificate. Why did it take so long? What was the problem of releasing his birth certificate with the first question? It almost seems as if they were trying to make a forged document. I believe he was born in Kenya. So, 2018, historic Korean summit. The North's Kim Jong-un and Moon Jae-in of South Korea agreed to officially end Korean war and rid peninsula of nuclear weapons, which did not happen. So,
Yeah.
2018 as well, mass protests across Spain after 5 men convicted of sexual abuse but not struggle snuggle of teenage girl during Running of the Bulls festival in Pamplona. Running of the Bulls and all that bullfighting, it's so like archaic and disgusting. I don't know why people aren't going after Spain for that. Where's all the animal rights groups? Why aren't they crying about Spain?
True.
2018, Swedish band ABBA announced they have recorded new songs for the first time since 1982.
Whoa!
So that is, I'm not good at math, so 2018 minus 1982 equals 36 years. Wow. That's dang.
Yeah.
2019, Pope Francis, rest in peace, donated $500,000 for migrants stranded in Mexico trying to reach the U.S. Well, I might have to redact my rest in peace statement then. you know, helping all these illegals come here and just ruin the country, take jobs away, you know. So 2020, U.S. Defense Department declassified and released videos of unidentified aerial phenomena from 2004 and 2015. Just a nothing burger. So, you know, this just screams blue beam to me. So, do you know what Project Bluebeam is, by the way? So let me look this up here really quick, just to educate you and anybody else interested. Project Bluebeam. So, Serge Monest. Okay, but just okay. Well, it's not, here we go. What is Project Bluebeam? Okay, this is just going to be read as an article, but basically, it's a belief that the government through technology, the world government, not just the United States or any, but the whole world, is working with each other to fictitiously create an alien invasion to scare the world population to allow a global martial law to control us all. Like, it goes a whole lot deeper than that, but, like, you know, you out there, go look it up for yourself, you know, so...
The threat's so massive that we have to huddle together and protect ourselves.
And it also has something to do with, like, starting in a new religion.
Let's move to the World Trade Order.
Yeah.
Whatever it's called.
The World Trade Organization. Or you mean New World Order?
New World Order.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're different.
Yeah. Anyway, 2022, Italian women footballers finally turned professional after Italian Football Federation changed status of top division, took effect July 1st, and ended capped amateur salaries. All right, so that's pretty cool. 2022, SpaceX launched its Crew Dragon capsule with 4 astronauts, including Jessica Walker's, becomes the first black woman to serve extended mission on Internal Space Station. Not the first black woman to be in space, but extended. Wow, they're really trying to grasp at every straw they can get to be the first this, the first that, so they can feel all special.
She had a sleepover.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Yeah, they're just grabbing whatever they can.
Enjoy my humor, huh?
Let's not forget the taking up space. You know, the cargo that went up. So those gaggle of common females who just went up in space and they're calling themselves astronauts despite just being cargo. They didn't do shit.
The whole thing took about 11, 12 minutes.
Yeah, you know, and they think that they're astronauts. You ain't astronauts. You're nothing more than glorified vomit comets.
Space ride with G. Yeah, you experienced
zero G. But
G,
you can do that on the vomit comet.
Well, yeah,
you know?
You can do it, but you're not actually up there.
They weren't. No, they weren't in space either. They were still in the atmosphere. They never breached into space.
Well, they were in zero atmosphere. That's for sure.
No, they were not. They were in zero gravity.
Zero gravity.
But they were not in space. They were just on the edge.
I thought they actually went into space and came back down.
No, they did not, because they were still within the atmosphere because their capsule did not burn up. Well, not burn up, but doesn't have any burn damage on reentry.
No, they weren't up that high.
Yeah, so which means they weren't in space. They were still in atmosphere. So they're not astronauts. Is what I'm saying. They're a bunch of frauds. So. Anyway, 2023 findings from the Zoonomia project were published, where genomes of 240 mammals collected and compares reveals 10.7% of the human genome identical to almost all species. You know, and the whole thing about us being engineered by aliens. You know, what if they took a little bit of everything indigenous here and then made their own thing, and then that's us. So who knows? 2023. Now I couldn't give a fiddler's fuck about James Corden, but you know, I gotta give credit where credit is due. James Corden's final appearance as host of the Late Late Show on CBS after 1,196 episodes.
I've never even heard of him.
He's a piece of shit.
I've never heard of the guy.
You're better off not hearing about him, but he's trash.
Is that him?
Yeah, that's him. He's just complete trash.
Don't recognize him.
He's a
Never
wokey.
heard of him.
He's a wokey.
Okay.
So
it's just funny I haven't heard of him.
Well, that's good. 2023, Pakistani architect Yasmin Lari awarded the Royal Institute of British Architects Royal Gold Medal for her humanitarian work providing structures for Pakistan's marginalized communities. Now, right here, marginalized, you know, in British, this just screams woke. Woke, 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 woke. So did she actually earn a medal? Did she actually do something? Or is this all just, oh, you're woke, I'm woke, let me give you a medal and a pat on the back, you know? Anyway, 2024, Iraq's parliament criminalized same-sex relationships, passing a law that allows for up to 15 years in prison.
Generally, death is what it meant.
Yeah, well, so
Not
you know,
in 24, but when Hussein was there, or whatever his name was.
But speaking of all these wokies, why aren't they going and crying about this? You don't hear them bitching about this at all.
Oh, there's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Women's rights, everything around the world. No qualms about any of that stuff.
Yeah, of course. And last but not least, 2024. Why is this not here anymore? They took it off. Do you see?
What?
2024, and then that's it.
Yeah.
But I have one more article.
Oh, okay.
They've deleted this. We are witnessing before our very eyes. They rewrit history last night. NASA engineers successfully repaired and recoded Voyager 1 from 15 billion miles away after a 5-month gap and not receiving data. That is huge. Why did they erase it?
I don't know.
Like, did they have it on the wrong day, or are they trying to erase it from history?
Or if you went back into the original, because you've got it now printed out, but if you went back, would it still be there?
No, this isn't right up here. This is
that
from the
is what's-
source. This is the source, and this is my script.
Okay. So it's nothing you may have deleted.
No,
is
no,
what
no.
I'm getting at.
No. This is I copy paste straight from this website.
Right, I got it. But did you do something to the paste part of it? And if you went back to the original source, would it still be there?
No, but this is the original source.
Oh, okay, that's it.
No, between
That's in real time.
Between last night and tonight, between last night and today, they took this out.
But what I'm saying, you only copy paste down to here. That's real time up there.
No,
right?
this is. Yes, but right here it goes from 2023 to 2024.
Real time.
Yeah,
not paste.
but see, I spoke about this. Iraq's
Gotcha.
parliament.
Yeah.
It's right here.
Yeah,
But
no,
then,
I get that.
But then this is gone. So we saw real time them erasing history.
But there's no point in it. There's nothing really.
Well, it could be the thing, like, try to get people not to think about space. Try to, and I don't know.
Could it be inaccurate in some way?
Well, that's what I was asking. Did they have it on the wrong day, and did they move it, or are they actively trying to change history?
No, that we don't know.
So, anyway.
If it comes up tomorrow, you'd find out.
Well, we'll see. That shall be it for the show today. Once again, please check the underbar of the description below for any links that you may be interested in, including but not limited to all things Omni Coalition. Oh, I have some comments here. Toxic masculinity. I haven't seen you in a while. My mouse says 18 buttons. Good God.
More buttons than fingers.
Dude, that's almost a keyboard. Like, bro, you play Foxhole? Can't wait for Justice and Providence Towers in New York. Okay? And yes, I do play Foxhole. I play on the Able server, and I am a warden for life. Death to all the collies. So, but yeah, for all of you and all of us, I am A.O. Xander.
Golden Loon.
And you're, of course, RU. Don't forget to look. I'm just double checking to see if I have any comments on Rumble. So, yeah, until you catch us next time, wherever that is, whenever that is, don't forget to look right and left at every intersection.